The battle was swift, brutal. 3 elite cultivators, each powerful in their own right, fell in less than a minute. Their screams never left the battlefield, for Tian Xuan silenced them before they could call for aid. Their bodies disintegrated into dust, erased from existence as if they had never been born. This was only the beginning. At the age of 16, Tian Xuan had finally reached the threshold to infiltrate the Celestial Ascendants sect, the very place that had nurtured the traitors who had once called him brother. He entered the selection trials once more, passing effortlessly, but holding back just enough to appear promising yet not threatening. He was accepted as an outer disciple, exactly where he needed to be. The traitors were here, the ones who had destroyed him before. They had no idea that their greatest nightmare was now in their midst, watching, waiting. As he knelt before the sect's elders, in a feigned show of obedience, his mind burned with one singular thought. How should I make them suffer first? Tian Xuan moved like a shadow through the sect, studying his enemies. He knew their faces, their voices, their habits. Every secret they whispered in the dead of night was his to uncover. The very ones who had betrayed him in his past life were now his fellow disciples, oblivious to the storm looming over them. His first target was Jiren, a former sworn brother who had been the one to drive the first blade into his back. In this life, Jiren was an inner disciple, drunk on his own arrogance. His power had grown, but his mind had not sharpened. He remained blind to the predator watching from the darkness. Tian Xuan did not rush. He played the long game, crafting his persona as a diligent yet unremarkable disciple. He trained, he learned, and he waited. His mythic beasts whispered to him, their thirst for revenge simmering beneath his skin. The day of reckoning was near. One night, as the moon cast its pale glow over the sect, Tian Xuan followed Jiren into the secluded meditation grounds. The inner disciple was alone, unaware of the silent footfalls behind him. Tian Xuan struck. Jiren had no time to react. A single palm strike to his dantian shattered his cultivation foundation, leaving him gasping for breath. Before he could cry out, Tian Xuan clamped a hand over his mouth. "You don't recognize me, do you?" Tian Xuan whispered, his voice a venomous whisper. "But I remember you." Jiren's eyes widened in horror. Before he could plead, Tian Xuan tightened his grip, and darkness swallowed the traitor whole. The first had fallen.